Hey guys, Mr. 3D Hero here. In today's video, I'm going to be talking to you about the state of phase shift and my general opinions on it now that it's been out for quite a while, and what the community also thinks about it, considering that over the past few months, a few people from the community are starting to rise up and state how they're disliking phase shift, and although many people don't agree with them on their opinions, there is a kind of a borderline issue with phase shift at the moment that should be looked into. So I do hope you enjoy the rest of the video. So phase shift basically allows you to phase in and out of a situation, either to get away from a scenario or to get into a scenario. So let's think, for example, if you're playing on Eden and you're running away from a Titan and you know that you can't get to cover quickly enough, you can use your phase shift if you have that class perk ability ready. And phase shift will basically allow you to quickly, only for a few seconds, quickly phase into another dimension and then go somewhere that is more effective, basically allow you to get the advantage onto another Titan or another player without them noticing. And because of this, it's basically used by a lot of players because it's basically a get out of jail card. Now it doesn't matter whether you're a pro or a complete newbie player, anyone can use it. Over time you can become a pro with using it. And now many people are starting to come out and say that this is becoming a problem, saying that it's a bit too OP, and that when combined with other perks such as Tactical or even Power Cell, it can make the class ability even more broken when effectively used on any map, on any type of game mode, for any type of scenario. So when it comes down to pro players using it now, many people argue that when pro players use it, it becomes literally too broken. Now combine phase shift with the ability to wall run at high speeds and then tie that in with a very powerful weapon such as the alternator or the flatliner or the R201, and generally tie that into, say, half the team all playing phase shift, and right there you've gotten quite a salty loadout that many people would argue is incredibly good, effective, but incredibly broken. So how do we fix this? Now when we look into the phase shift has a cooldown that, although yes you can use it 2 times, after 2 times it basically means that you'll be left in the open quite easily if you don't think through how you're going to do this. Plus when you use phase shift, it doesn't last for long, it only lasts for a brief few seconds, I believe around 2 to 3 seconds. So within that scenario you need to think how you're going to do this. How are you going to run away from the battlefield, or are you going to tackle that opponent, or are you going to try to outmaneuver that opponent? Plus another thing you also have to remember is that when you're using phase shift doesn't allow you to see where your opponents are. So if the opponent is in front of you and you decide to run away from them, there's no way of you knowing whether that opponent is following you, or whether that opponent has run off somewhere else, or whether that opponent has hid. You only know when the moment the scenario calms down, or when the person pops back out again. So in this type of situation, phase shift at the moment is balanced because of these disadvantages to it, but then at the same time with it, these disadvantages come the advantages, basically allowing you to phase out of a situation that you should have been killed in. And then makes it even more annoying, it makes it that the person could, you know, change the tide onto you, so you could be killing someone, you just need 1 more point to win, that person phase shifts out, kills you, and then goes on to lead the whole team to make a major comeback. I know that sounds a bit too out of proportion, but it was just saying it's just a scenario that could potentially happen. And then when combined with going up against newer players, it's a problem because newer players don't know the indications of how to spot when a phase shift player is phasing. They don't know where that person is going to pop out to. They don't know how to react. They don't know what is the best way to tackle it. And it's because of this that many people will come out and say that phase shift is becoming a problem. So then personally, this puts into a situation, how do we fix it? Now, we don't want to nerf phase shift into something incredibly useless. That's not something we want in Titanfall 2. We're not like Destiny, where a lot of things get nerfed and don't get fixed within X amount of months. What we want to do is nerf or fix phase shift so that it's still effective, but it can only be used effectively in the right type of situation. So basically you have to think more tactical when using it. Not something that you can use on and off straight away, but you have to actually think more ahead with how you're going to use this ability. So the best way I thought of it is this. Instead of making it a 2 charge, Make it just a single one charge. This way, when the person uses it, they only use it when they feel like they're in danger. They can't use it straight away and think, oh yeah, if the person is still there, I can just use it again. No, the moment you use it once, that's it. But to make it so that it's still relatively useful, we'll make it so that the charge rate is a bit higher or further increased. Not increased to the point of where it is you get it straight away, but just to the point of where it charges up at a much quicker and reasonable rate. But then at the same time, we also have to argue that if we nerf this part down to make it so it's a one charge rate, we would also have to use it across other classes that have two charge rates. So if we look at grapple, for example, grapple, that although it's not even broken whatsoever, it can be used effectively. It can make you cover ground quite quickly from getting from your team respawn point to the enemy team's respawn point. So, and the fact that it allows you to have two charge rates makes it even more deadly effective. And many people will argue and say that this would need to be balanced as well. But I believe that for grapple is pretty much fine, because grapple doesn't allow anything that's too broken. It doesn't basically allow you to get out of situations quite quickly. It only lets you get out of situations by climbing up to buildings or climbing onto titans, or basically allowing you to get a higher elevation compared to everyone else. But you're still visible and you're still able to be attacked and hit. Plus, the moment you start elevating to a specific area using your grapple, you're quite vulnerable. You can't fire your weapon. You can only disconnect it. So at that state there, you're basically stuck in a situation where you're just a walking, or so say flying target. But now phase shift basically allows you to phase in and out of danger. It allows you to get out of danger that if you didn't have that ability, you would have been killed and otherwise, spawn back to your respawn point. So that's one way that we could potentially fix phase shift. Make it a one charge rate, but increase its charge rate so it charges much quicker. And make it so that if someone uses tactical with the weapon, with the class as well, it makes it even more effective and more deadly. So my general opinions on the matter. Phase shift now isn't something that I would say is incredibly broken. It is a problem when a whole team is using it. It's not much of a problem unless a really skilled player that always uses this class uses it. And from my opinion, when I use it, I generally know how to tackle these phase shift players. I know when they're gonna appear. I know where they're exactly going. I know how to think through. But at the same time, when it comes down to newer players, it could be frustrating. And although a nerf is not really required, since the ability is quite balanced, because like I mentioned before, it has a lot of disadvantages compared to advantages, the only way for you to understand how to get better with phase shift is that you either need to play with it, understand it, and then understand how you can counter it. So you basically need to be in a game where you're up against a pro player, or up against a player that uses phase shift a lot, and basically try and tackle them as much as possible and think ahead. You need to think outside more of the box if you want to have a better chance against phase shift players, because phase shift players, although are quite tricky to deal with, they're very predictable. And in many cases, if you can watch how they react when they see you, you can easily pick them off. So that's the end of the video. I do hope you enjoyed it. If you did, then leave a like for more, or even just leave a dislike if you disliked the video. If you did dislike the video, then by all means leave a comment explaining why you didn't like it. By all means state if you didn't enjoy it because the way I pronounce certain things, whether I didn't cover certain areas, or you think that the nerving was a bit too harsh. By all means, but don't dislike because you want to dislike. Please dislike only to give me criticism. By giving me criticism, I could always improve upon this video even further. But by all means, thank you all for watching. Do subscribe if you did enjoy the content, as I will be doing this on a more regular and weekly basis. And I do hope you have a nice day.